I was younger than Shay.
Well,
That's when we still stayed in Dallas. Yeah, but I was younger than Shay, going buying a pack of Cools and a Snicker.
he said Snicker.
Hey, y'all, welcome back to the podcast. I'm Mike.
I'm Duran.
Tim.
All right, and today we're just going to jump right on into it. So, is being in an interracial relationship harder than like a same-sex relationship? And
Whoa.
I asked this because
You mean same race?
did I say same-sex?
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
meant
you said same
My
sex.
bad.
What
Same
you got
race.
going on?
Dre said, wait, what'd you just put
Hold
us
up.
into?
Wait.
That's real hard.
That's a different question.
I can't help
you.
you.
I can't answer that.
It's being in an interracial relationship harder than being in a same race relationship.
So I asked that because I was watching this show, right? And I'm gonna just put it out there. I watch Love Is Blind, right? And everything is usually good when they're in the pods, but when they gotta meet families, that's when people kind of see like the other side.
Right.
And one of the relationships, there was a black man and a white woman, and a lot of the issues they dealt with seemed to go around them, their race and the different cultures and things like that. Now, me, I've always been I've been with my wife since I was 17, right? So, but I've never dated anybody that wasn't a black woman.
Right.
Duran, I know you have. Tim, I know you have. So, is being in an interracial relationship harder?
I'm gonna say, mine's is easy, I guess you could say. But again, it kind of goes back with another topic we talked about. I've been with mine since I've been of age. And before that, yes, that's all I've dated was black women. So, but again, this is like I was a teenager, probably 19, 20 at the oldest before I met my wife.
Yeah.
And I've been with my wife ever since. She's white.
So did your family react the same way?
My mother, she was fine with it. I mean, on my side of the family, wasn't nobody tripping or going like, you messing with that white girl and all that. And then I didn't get none of that.
Yeah.
On my side of the family.
Okay.
They welcomed her in with open arms. I mean, my wife done met everybody in my family, and all my family is in Dallas. She didn't get a chance to meet my grandmother, but she met my grandfather, my uncles, aunts, all them.
Yeah.
My brother. So everybody on my end was fine. Her end, I would believe, was fine, but I mean,
you ain't never heard nothing.
I never heard anything. So
hey, that's a good story. I think my auntie told me one time, she said, I thought you was gonna bring home a white woman. And I said, why would you say that? And she said, cause you never we never saw you talk to nobody or this. I said, I just kept my stuff on the low. Why?
right.
Like Brittany legit was the first woman I brought home.
Right.
Brittany was the first woman I brought home on purpose.
Right.
You see, I ain't say nothing. I ain't say nothing.
There was one other who dropped me off at home, and then she stayed there and met my mama that way. And my mama was like, "Who the hell is that?" And I was like,
Man, see,
just don't ask.
yeah,
no
we
question.
was sweating bullets that day.
But see, with mine, like back before I met my wife, no, I didn't bring none of the girls I messed with home because you wasn't my girl.
Right. And that was my thing. Like my brothers brought women home back to back.
Right.
And so I was like, I ain't bringing nobody home till I'm serious about them.
Right.
And she gave me a ride home and spent like a whole hour just. She was like, "Can we go inside?" Nah.
Right.
My mama don't play that.
Yeah.
Nobody in this house. And so we sat out there talking, and then I was like, "All right, you gotta go." She was like, "Why?" I'm like, "Mama about to be home in 20 minutes."
Right.
But she stayed, and my mama, that's how she met her.
Well,
Crazy.
yeah, I brought mine home, but again, at that time, in our early stages of talking, we were more than friends. I think we was friends for about 1 or 2 years before we got serious.
Right.
But I do remember bringing her home, and my mother met her. But again, we was just just being good friends, I guess you could say. But as we progressed, I mean, my mother already knew her, so I mean, it wasn't nothing out the ordinary. By the time we got serious, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
Okay.
because we was always together.
For sure.
Duran?
Been there ever since then, up to today.
To this day.
Ride or die.
Lord Jesus,
Well, we're gonna ask you a question about that ride or die on this next episode.
Right.
yeah,
that's gonna be a good one.
it is.
Duran.
For me, I caught a lot of flack for that. My sister actually thought I didn't like black women, which was crazy to me.
Wow.
I was like blown away, but I was like, nah, that's everybody go eat different types of food, but you got a favorite food that you like, so you like what you like. So
Oh, so you was eating that type of food?
I was chilling.
That's what you was eating at the time.
I was chilling. I ain't had no problem with it, but her family, they just did not like me.
Yeah.
For nothing. They just, I don't know, like
all of them,
all the stereotypes, everything you can think of. I'm like, I ain't even doing none of that. Like, I just immediately took it to 10. It was confrontation here and confrontation there. Nobody never did nothing, but it was it took me a long time.
Feel the tension.
It was like probably like 4 years before I even met her dad face to face.
So how did that affect your relationship though?
I mean, we was cool because we was kids, as teenagers, we rebellious. So we was going against the grain regardless. So we just kept it pushing,
Do you feel like you could never really like progress with her because her family had that, like, I guess not hate, but
Stigma?
yeah.
Nah, that was never a factor. That was never something that was freestanding because it was just an understanding. Well, I mean, they think that, but they not dating me. You are, so you gonna let them control your life. So we just kept doing what we was doing. So ultimately, the resolution from that happened because of us, not the family.
Mm.
So that's how that goes. But yeah, it's definitely a difference for me. And my family never treated her different, but they was like, oh, well, that's different because I guess it's not normal when you got black family, they expect you to bring home somebody black and whatnot. But with our people, sometimes they weren't rocking with me like they weren't rocking with me.
I would say in my family, it's funny. And again, my family is from down south Texas,
Right?
Dallas, Texas, to be exact. I had an aunt. She dated a white man before she passed away. My other aunt that passed away, I ain't gonna say they was dating, but I guess you could say, once you get to that certain age, you have a companion.
Mhm.
But he was a white man.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, interracial is in our family. It's crazy, you would think, but it is.
See, the thing that's wild to me about my family is like my Texas family probably would have had no issues with it.
Right.
Because we got like white people in our family.
Mm-hmm.
But it was more so my Kansas City family
Wow.
that had comments. And I don't know if my mom would have cared or not. I really don't think she would have.
Mm-hmm.
But I have an aunt and a cousin who I felt like they really thought I was gonna like bring, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
Like you fall in love with who you fall in love with, but to think like, oh, that's all you're capable of, or that's who you're gonna be with because that's how we feel about you. Like I was just like, why would you think that?
Well, it's funny. Before I met my wife, I wanted my girl as black as me.
I think
all the girls I never had an interest for outside my race until I met Laura.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, first we was friends, and she was cool, and she wasn't trying to be black. You know how you got some that try to act like, what I mean? She was just herself, and that was cool. And next thing you know, here we are. But yeah, man. So yeah, that's crazy.
I guess that's the biggest thing is, are you like, I feel like there's the white women or even Hispanic women who like try to act like the culture of the person they're dating.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And
I
that
don't
for
like
me
that.
throws things
Yeah,
off.
I don't like that.
But ironically, at that time she wasn't doing that either though. I think
No,
she was just being herself. And
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm gonna just say the elephant in the room. It's like a freedom because I feel like as black people, we cage ourselves into things, but we make being caged up look fun. So what I mean by that is, yeah, I'm just gonna date black girls because if I bring home anybody else, my family for some reason gonna think that it's weak. It has
Right.
to pass the test.
Yeah, I see
And
what
if it
you're saying.
don't pass the test, now we got a problem. That's gonna forever be a thing. They're gonna always make jokes. It's always gonna be something. But then when you get with somebody and then that person being who they being for you, it's kind of like, well, I'm not used to this because I date black girls and they don't treat me the same as you're treating me. So it's kind of confusing because we don't know. And you don't know until you date somebody from a different race. So when you do that to the people who's in the cage, they just like, he a weirdo. Why he not dating the black girls, whatever? Or he don't like his skin color. No, it ain't nothing like that.
Yeah.
But you don't know the freedom that I got from being over here. It's a whole different thing how they do relationships. We just see relationships in this square.
And I guess that kind of leads into like my next question of like, there's this stereotype that black women are so much like more difficult or tougher than other races. Do y'all feel like that stereotype has been proven any type of true? Like you can get away with more with another race
They're
than
all
you
the
can.
same. They're
A
just
woman's a
different.
woman.
They're all the same. They're just different because you got whites and you got blacks, but they just react differently, but they all the same. They still trip just the white one gonna trip just like the black one, just differently.
That's how I feel. I feel like it depends on the woman.
Mhm.
Like how she's raised is going to determine how she reacts,
Right.
not necessarily skin color.
And yep, that's why I about to say it could be black or white.
Unless
Doesn't
she's
matter.
Mexican, she gonna stab you.
That's you got to sleep 1 eye open then.
And if she light skinned, she just evil. I'm just saying.
I'm dead.
You know.
I could not.
Two things you will
Yeah.
never find: ex girlfriend of mine that's light skinned, and a girl I like that's light skinned.
All the girls before my wife, which was black, they was dark skinned or brown. I don't think I ever had a
But that's the
light
thing,
skin.
though. I think that the women get trapped in the cage I was talking about because they kind of got more of a free range to date somebody outside the race than we got as men, as black men. So when they do it, nobody really cares. They're like, oh, whatever. They'll hear something. Oh, your sister doing whatever. Or they're like, you get it, girl. But if a man does that, that hit different.
You don't think a black woman bringing home a white man gets as much?
She'll get some talk back.
I feel
but
like it's more
if-
acceptable for a black man to bring home a white woman.
Nah.
Because they see athletes do it. But when a black woman brings home a white man, it's like, why?
Nah, they see stability, and you gotta remember, women hype each other up like cheerleaders, so they start inquiring why she did that because they like, why you do that, and then they start, oh, okay, I see. Oh, he take care of you, he doing, but a black man can take care of you too. So that's what I'm saying. By we just trap ourselves in this box, and you never know until you try. You might end up marrying an Indian woman. You never know until you go and try and see
Never
what's
say
what.
never either.
And
Yeah.
Because that happened to me too. I never messed with a white girl. 25 years in.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
With kids.
I've said this since I think middle school that I would never date a light skinned woman. And that's my own bias. Like I grew up in a house full of light skins and they was evil to me. And y'all know it. Family, y'all know it, but I love y'all. But ever since then, I was just like, it'll never happen. So like it was never a race thing.
Right.
It was just this is what I was used to from y'all. So I'm not attracted to that.
I came back home with my wife that's black, and I was celebrated like T'Challa when he won the challenge to be the
But
Black
why is
Panther.
that?
I just told you why. I don't know. They was, everybody was
Because I feel like if we were the other way around and a white family got upset because a man or a woman brought home a black man, like people would be like, "Oh, y'all are racist." Right, but if they celebrated, oh, you brought home a white man, Like it'd be like, what the hell is going on here? But when a black family does it, it's a little more acceptable.
And I think in my case with my family, we only prejudice the people that's prejudiced to us. Let me just say it like that.
Yeah.
Other than that, we accept any. You could be white, Mexican,
Green.
black, whatever. As long as you show us respect and and don't come with that funny stuff, you're welcomed in the door.
Right. We're gonna get to know you.
Right. And that's what I'm saying with my aunts that was dating white men. And they was like regular old white dudes. And come on in. You want something to eat? You hungry? Or you want something to drink? Whatever. I be sitting around talking now. So
I got a white brother-in-law and love him to death.
Right.
Coolest guy ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like I will, if he went into war right now, I'd be like, I'm right here with you.
Right.
So like, I just don't see why people make such a big deal out of it.
And on top of that, the white dudes that was dating or hanging out with my aunts, they treat the lady right.
Right.
So,
and that's what matters in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the episode. Y'all let us know. Is it hard being in an interracial relationship than it is being in a relationship with someone that's the same color as you or the same race as you? Y'all like, comment, subscribe, and let us know. We'll catch y'all on the next one.
Peace.